920. Wait, maybe. Let's look at it.
Let's find out.
Either 927 or 929. I think maybe 929.
Well, there's 929 on there, so it looks like we've talked about it. This is 927. Yeah, I think we've talked about this. So if we look at, there's 929. So we talked about 929.
Well,
So
October 2nd then.
Alrighty, here we go. All right. So we have.
Oh yeah, this is the lucky one. Yeah. This one was just a basic thing. Just one trade.
Okay, so you just had second entry short here.
Yeah.
Okay. One pullback, two. Gotcha. Yeah, so it's not a bad trade, man. Not quite sure what the context is, but we do want to keep our profit targets in mind. And especially, I mean, you've seen it for yourself now as we get into more of these charts, because I know some of the things I'm going to see. You can take 3 losers in a row and make it all back and a lot more with one winner.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your only trade of the day. 5-minute climactic bar, mid-channel range.
Yeah, just my comments,
Gotcha.
And then, just like a comment, buyer and selling. Yeah, that was, I guess, like at the end, now that I'm looking at it again with new eyes, would you say that's a barbed wire area?
This right here?
Yeah.
I would, yes. I don't know why it won't draw anymore.
It's okay, this chart is done anyway. It was basic.
There we go. Okay, weird. Yeah, that is a barbed wire area. So sometimes it's sometimes okay to trade in this, but it's sometimes not. But the thing about it is you definitely have to kind of know the difference, because in a situation like this, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bars with big long wicks that don't go anywhere, it is something to kind of be cautious of. And if we look too, there is your bull breakout at the very end. Climactic bull bar failed and went down again. If you can take trades in this if this is just like a couple of bars. If it's just like 2 or 3 bars or something, it's one thing. Especially in a 2,000 tick chart, just because it is such a small time frame. But anything like this, where there's so many wicks, definitely be aware of that. We can even take this if we wanted to, and we could draw a channel just for visualization purposes. And you could even think of this as the middle of a channel, which would be fine to think about, quite frankly, if you're looking at the market on a very microscopic level.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, let's look at 10-3. All right.
Yeah, it looks like I took 2 losers. I took 2 short failures, and then the third one I was holding. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one where my account was at 24K. It was about to go under. I held that third one at the top. It went down and ranged out, so I didn't like the range, so I just put a question there.
Okay, so what is this right here?
That was, yeah, it was I guess I took where it says the first entry short wick. I took that 1, 2.
Oh, you took it here.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then that was a failure, and then I took it again when it went up.
Was this bull channel, or we still have this bear channel line here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Um, you can take these sometimes. I mean, this. I guess your logic here was essentially a double top.
Yeah, the wick made me think. I guess it tricked me.
I gotcha. I gotcha. Honestly, though, that's fine. I can see how that kind of got you there. And then here you went.
I mean, it did go down like a couple points,
Yeah,
but
it did for sure.
I mean, whatever. That's not what I was going for.
And then here, is this
I went
another
for it
short?
again. Yeah, I went for it again, and it
Got
failed.
stopped out here.
And then I went for it again. Um, yeah, I went for it again, and then this one for the channel fade, this one worked a little bit, but then it ranged, and I didn't like the range, but I still held anyway.
So let's see here. I remember seeing this. It hit 1, 2, 3 times.
Yeah. That's why I was
Twice.
thinking like by the third one, I was thinking about taking it.
Yeah, by the third one, you should have been able to see that there was some sort of a range here. Even if you thought that the range was like down here, you should have been able to see that there was some sort of a range here. And once you saw that range, you should go ahead and move to break even and then keep your profit target up. Because
God,
especially in a tight range like this, the market has big fluctuations. It takes it, this is an inside bar, so it really only took the market 2 big bull bars to get up to the top of the range here. So it can be pretty volatile going uh, taking positions in here. But no, well, if this should have been a little bit more obvious of a range to you here, and you should have looked to take profits somewhere after. There's 1, 2, yeah. Certainly by here, if nothing else, you should, if nothing else, move to break even.
got it. Yeah, I wasn't sure because I know we spoke about like hodl, like
Hmm.
so I was just gonna hold that one. So.
It is important to hold, but if you're in a range, then you need to generally move to break even a little bit quickly, especially a tight range. You need to move to break even quickly.
Got it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that with the Friday chart, and then
Sweet.
the last one was like my Hail Mary, and that
This
one worked.
amazing range fade that you made. Absolutely incredible. And you took profits at the low of the day perfectly.
Yes.
That is amazing. That is awesome. And, let's see, 1, 2, 3 losers in a row.
Yeah.
And
6 points.
one trade made up for all of that and made you profitable on the day
Yes. That
by
was awesome.
something like 10 points.
That was it was an amazing feeling, and it just reassured me to just keep going.
Absolutely, man. That is amazing. It's extremely important to get plays like this. Plays like this is what keep us in the money long term. It's really great if you're lucky enough, I mean, we can only take what the market gives us, but for your prop firm accounts, it's really nice if at the very, very beginning, too, you can get some big winners in there because then you create that big space in between them because you need your drawdown space and you need some withdrawal space, and then you also need, some good space to, but way before you hit your drawdown.
No, dude.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. That is amazing.
So the lesson for that one was definitely watch the getting caught in tight ranges.
Yeah, if it's going to touch your profit target or if it touches that same general area, 4 different times or even twice, really, you should look and at least consider that it might be a range. And here you overcame what a lot of people have trouble with here as well. First entry short, second entry short, loser. Range fade, first entry short, second entry short, or channel fade, and then you have this amazing winner from that.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome too.
That is amazing. These double traps, man, they are hard to catch. But if you can get good at catching them, amazing things can happen. There's almost always a big move after a double trap.
I will never forget that. Can't unsee it. I can't unsee it.
Absolutely. It's something you just want to stare at all day, isn't it?
And then also, I wanted to bring up that price actually did not make a new low here. It shot up, and so
Yep. But look
they
what
were.
you were trailing exactly how you should have though. That was the perfect trail.
Awesome. So that was good.
That was really nice. Are there any other questions on this chart? I see a lot of writings I'm reading.
Let me see. 5 minute channel, all shorts. 5 minute dojis. What was it? Oh yeah. What do you think has more power? A climactic 5 minute or the uptrend from like days back?
The uptrend. Because a climactic bar that can be, especially even on a 5 minute, which is a larger time frame than what we're used to, but it's still a relatively small time frame in the grand scheme of things. So a climactic bar on the 5 minute, it's probably going to take place in at a high of a channel or of a trend, and it's probably more likely to signal a pullback than it is actually a complete trend reversal. Now, I guess we have things like what we got into with one of our last meetings where there was a big climactic bull bar at the channel line, and then it failed and the market went down. But we have to take into context too, though, that the market has been relatively bearish lately, and so any sort of what looks like a big bull trend on the 5 minute, in all reality, if we zoom out, then it's really not. You almost can't even see it from space. You know what I mean? If you go out to a 4 hour chart, it's just a little pullback. If you go out to the daily chart, you don't even see it at all, really.
Yeah, which is, I guess, the reason for my questions here in the beginning, because I saw the short opportunities. I would have been scalping, whatever, but I had this major uptrend. I was respecting it, so I just sat out. I had 5 minute dojis in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I had bull climactic, so I was thinking it was going to go south. It did, but I was just respecting, I guess, the trend.
Sure, no, absolutely, man. And what you did there, though, the key to that was you sat and you waited. We have to sit and we have to wait for the market to prove itself. The market has to show us evidence. And a lot of traders, where they mess up the most is they get into a spot where they don't really know if the market's going up or down. The market hasn't decided, and they're trying to trade it. It's like, how can you trade that if even the institutions haven't decided yet?
That's real. That's a bomb right there.
It is a bomb.
And right here, I wanted to ask you that last, before it broke the uptrend, would you have taken that short? It was 5 minute. I had 5 minute dojis, and
This right here?
bull climatic. No, the one above that one.
Oh.
Like this kind of like mini range area.
Would I have taken one of these short?
Yes.
Probably not.
Okay.
Because we're still in a bull channel here. I don't know for sure how long it's going to last. Now, obviously, that ended up being a second entry short at the top of the channel line, but we didn't really know that at first. And something you have to consider is, if you did take this short, of course, we don't know that this channel line is there yet.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of a bull channel trying to go short.
At the bottom.
Yeah, it's not exactly a high probability place to be.
Okay, so it was a good pass.
Good pass. Very good
Awesome.
pass.
And then, so yeah, that was yeah. So after I saw the bear climatics, I learned from what you told me last time that just go short all day, pretty much. I mean, bull climatics.
Absolutely, man. And here
Yeah,
you found some shorts.
yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, I didn't take
See,
those. I was just still counting. Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I don't really see anything too strong. You might could lower your range line just a tad there,
Okay.
and then you could draw. We're in a bear, so you can draw it. I
Would
would,
you have taken any of those?
I'd probably have drawn it in here. I don't think so. I don't really see an opportunity in here. I don't remember taking any of these either, so
Okay.
that might be an interesting one here, but I don't think that you know for sure that the range is there yet.
At that point, yes. Okay. And then before I had the winner here, do you think the first two failures were valid entry points?
Let's see this one right here. So we've established the channel line now.
Correct.
So we have 1, 2. Yeah, that's a valid entry point. I would say that maybe you could have waited until it actually touched the channel line, because sometimes it's something you just have to have discretion about, really. But sometimes price doesn't quite touch like this, and it'll just continue to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least for me, I personally am generally kind of weary about
Mm-hmm.
something that doesn't quite reach a certain area. Um, and so sometimes I'll take it, but sometimes I won't. I
Okay.
guess you could say, maybe you could also say that this was a retest of the midline of this range, and you can validate a short like that too. And you might could say, well, we're testing the midline, and we have a major channel line here, and so you might could validate it like that.
Okay.
I, I
And then
don't
I also
I
go
don't
ahead.
think it's invalid. I don't think it's invalid, but in general, if I can, at least, I definitely prefer something to touch a line at least a little bit.
Roger that. And then the next one was just the first attempt, and then jump back in. Yeah. But the first attempt
Amazing.
is a good channel fade area. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We formed a little shelf here. It was really, really nice.
Okay. Cool. No more other questions.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I would say maybe the only scary thing is it does look like there's some bull trend bars,
Mhm.
but we're still expecting a bearish fade here. So 1, 2, just like that. So I think it looks good, dude. And of course, your double trap play was awesome. Great job on that.
Yeah. Thanks. That was my first, I guess, double trap successful.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Double traps are tough. They seem to like appear for a little bit, and then you won't see them for a while.
So they're kind of like rare Pokemon.
I guess you could think of it like that, yeah. Okay. That
Oh yeah, yeah. You
is
knew. You knew
funny.
it was fishy. You knew it was so fishy. I wanted to ask you again. How did
Yes.
you know?
Well, so let's see. This was the day we traded live together, right?
Yes, this is
Okay.
when we traded together. Yeah.
So let me try to remember. We had. Okay, so
Yeah, we had the a channel fade here, but you said the first it already happened, the channel fade. So then I was looking long, and where I have my little blue tallies, and then we took the long was correct, but we got stopped out for volatility.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see. Let's try to go back from the beginning a little bit. So we had this big bear push down. Ended up being a long day, but we were in short, and that was fine because, I mean, the market ended up proving us wrong, and we can switch and get to long, but that's just fine. The important thing is that we found some valid or some valid entries, some that had a little bit much risk on it. Just trying to get my whereabouts. So let's see, we saw this channel here. We didn't know about the range yet. We saw this channel fade here, 1, 2, and we took that, didn't we?
No, we didn't. I was just watching, I think.
Oh, okay.
We might have just been discussing.
Yeah, it may have been another one. But we also saw, so we saw this channel fade, and we saw 1, 2. And then we noted the measured move. Not like I can really draw a measured move on here, but
Yeah, it was definitely a learning day for me Friday. And then you were also teaching me how the range measure moves confirms the other measure move.
yeah. So we adjusted this measured move and we saw that it was below this low and thought it was outside of the range. And then we considered this channel fade here, but because it was inside of the range, didn't really feel like it was that high of a probability, so we skipped it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we hit the measured move, and it kind of snuck up on us, I think, but it became 1, 2, second entry long, fading this range. And then we recognized it somewhere in here. We were like, okay, well, this is a range fade, so let's look for a second entry long and let's get long. So we had our pullback, we had a 1 pullback, and we were looking to get in here. But right,
the margin was too big.
But right before, and this is why we always measure, right before, this was something like 4.5 points of risk.
Yes.
And so it's too much risk to take that trade, so we have to skip it. I skipped it.
I was just surprised that you didn't even I guess do one contract. Like for you, like one contract, like if it wins, cool, why not?
Because it's out of my risk parameters. That's why.
Yeah.
Rules are what make us successful here. The second we start to make up our own rules, is the second we start to lose money. And even if this won, that's fine. It probably would have been worse if it won in the long run, because you would do something like that and you would just start to think that everything that you do is going to win. Well, it's at the 20 EMA, so it has to win, right? No, nothing has to happen. Nothing is guaranteed. And so I skip winning trades all the time because there's too much risk to it. And it doesn't hurt me one bit, because I know that the second that I get in there with 4.5 points of risk, no matter how small I'm trading, I'm ruining my trader's ratio.
That's a bomb right there. So yeah, overall, in the long run, this trade loses.
It does. And let's see, second entry. There's your first entry. You can think of this as a second entry. We can get in there. And of course, as it began to push up, notice this channel kind of went from, we were talking about market cycles. This goes from like a tight channel and it kind of broadens out. It's almost hard to draw the channel in a way, like the more you do it, like boom.
I wanted to ask you about that the top of the range there too, because when we were trading live, you knew it was fishy as well, and I just wanted to clarify why it was not the best area for you, that short.
Okay.
Top of the range, not the one all the way up there, the one in the middle.
One in the middle. Okay. Let me get this to. Is it this one here?
Yes.
Was it this one we were talking about, or that one?
We took Well, I was right now. I'm talking about that one in the middle.
Okay. Well,
That was 2 points. That one.
this one right here.
Yeah, first entry, second entry, 2 point risk.
1, 2, yeah. Okay, right here. Gotcha. Uh, I wasn't sure because we just had a range fade to the long side. And yeah, it is true that our profit target is here, but there's oftentimes, and how we talked about it that day, there's two different profit targets, right, on each trade. And most of the time, we don't really get to the second one. Most of the time, we just get to the first one. But we talked about this may be the original profit target, but anytime we have a range and we have a breakout, most of the time it is followed by a false breakout, and that's this bear breakout here. So whenever we have a range fade, and it's something really strong too. I mean, there was even a big sell off here, and the market just shot straight up here. We have a lot of bull trend bars on the way up. Just a little bit sketchy for me because it could take it higher, and it did. And remember our secondary profit target. Do you remember?
We'll just double the range.
Measured move from the range. I'm assuming this is the measured move here.
Yeah, and it hit it. So bad trade.
Risky trade. I mean, at least you were at a key entry point, which is important. Um, you know, there's only so much someone can ultimately teach you because the market is so subjective. Um, Teaching someone to take a second entry short at the top of a range is easy. Anyone can do that, but not everyone can take the pieces of the puzzle and put them together in a way that they can, at least in their own mind, determine if there's a relative probability of something being successful or not. So, as an example, one piece of the puzzle is a second entry short at uh, the top of the range. But another piece of the puzzle is the range fade. Another piece of the puzzle is this bull channel. And so you have to look back and see all the context, and then over time just learn basically how to what the market is trying to tell you, because it doesn't always tell it to you in the same way. You have to learn to put the pieces together logically, and that's not that's hard to teach. You can kind of give someone like a list of kind of do this, do that, but learning to be uh, uh, I guess learning to truly read the context of the market is something that only comes with experience. And that's why this is such a hard profession, is because there's no way around it. You have to lose money before you make money. That's all there is to it. Because you have to learn by being wrong, you have to learn to look at context and learn how to read that context.
Amazing, amazing. At the bare minimum, this trade I think was skippable.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent at least, I guess. And we had this one up here, I think, which we considered because.
Yeah, that one was that one I think like it was going on really fast. Like I was learning and trading at the same time, so like I was kind of juggling a little bit. And here, like you did say, like watch the range, and it dropped 5 points, and I was just going for the zinger on this one, so it just didn't
Yeah, somewhere in here. I don't remember if it was here. Whatever the measured move was, where it had a range, a small range at the measured move. Maybe that is the measured move right there. Actually, is the open. But whatever it is, it had a. I mentioned we could consider a second entry short there, but we would have to move to break even. And I think right before we got off, it was just kind of starting to range out. And so taking a second entry short, you can count it 1, 2. You can count that as a 2 or a 1 or a 1, 2. And you can take the short here, but we're in a range, theoretically at least. So as far as we know at this point. So if we are in a range, we either need to scalp very quickly or we need to move to break even really quickly. It's a little bit difficult to see, but I probably would have moved to break even if I took this right after passing this low. And I probably would have trailed my stop to here and would have made, 1 or 2 points or something.
And how would you have drawn your range here?
It's tough to draw here. So let's think about our market cycle, and let's think about how things normally happen. There's a lot of times there is a false breakout of the range before it breaks out of that range and goes in the direction of a trend, right? So we can say, okay, well, this is kind of rangy here. Let's find the deepest pullback. Okay, it's right in here. We've located the deepest pullback. Now let's say, okay, well, let's go back to this channel. And let's see how many times we can adjust it. And we continue to adjust it until it just basically starts to look stupid. When it's very obvious that this is not a channel anymore. It's going to be something through there, something through there. And so that reduces the size of the range here because we can see that, okay, it doesn't have, because these lows are a little bit confusing, but we put them inside the channel and we're not that worried about it. So then let me just go back and draw that one more time.
Mom, I want you to meet someone. This is my teacher, Nick. This guy's changing my life, changing all of our lives.
Oh, hi, Mom. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for helping my son.
Absolutely. I'm happy to work with him. He's come a long ways.
Oh, great. Hopefully he'll learn a lot from you.
I hope so.
A lot from you.
I hope so.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. It was good to meet you.
As well.
So we're looking for a false breakout, which is this. We can adjust our channel lines as much as we can, which is going to be around in there, which means that we can draw our range. We can start from the top because it's a little bit easier. We can start here. This little volatility right here isn't a big deal. A lot of times too, when it's climactic bars at the top of a range, it's just, you can almost just think of them as wicks. Just because, nothing happened here. It's all false strength. Where instead of the bodies being strong, it's not. That's why the next bar was so bearish. So there's our top. And then our bottom is a little bit subjective. You could say that, but then you're probably not. I would have probably drawn it like so. And then have that as the range.
And you knew it was the range, it was ranging out. You knew it was ranging out fast, though, because of this measured move, because what you thought it was just losing steam.
Yeah, I mean we were at a point where the bulls would at least consider taking profits, if nothing else. Anything can break out and go even further, but generally speaking, the bulls and some bulls did. I mean, that's why we didn't just push straight through. It's why we had to range out for a little bit, and then we had to grab more liquidation. Had to get more people to go short, saying that this was the top before continuing long. See, this is where context really matters, though, because when I told you about this trade here, when I mentioned it, I didn't mention it as some sort of key reversal point, because it might not be. We do have a lot of bullish context here. And we begin to see that more and more as the day goes on. So even us jumping into this trade, we at least move to break even quickly, so we can not be affected by it. If you're going to take fishy trades, then then we have to move to break even quickly. But that's one of the only times we move to break even quickly. And this is where, of course, judgment comes in, because most of the time we don't want to move to break even quickly. But if we're going to take fishy trades like this, then we do need to move to break even quickly, especially in ranges. Especially then.
Yeah, props to you for seeing the quick range there. And you didn't end up taking a trade this day?
I did not know. I think I looked at some longs. I think I did try to get filled into a long later, and I didn't get filled. I was also in kind of a interesting spot because I actually had just passed another 50K account, and I did it in 2 trades, and so I didn't want to trade that account either, because I hadn't met the daily trade, whatever it's called. You have to trade for 7 days. I passed it in 2 days instead of 7.
What's it called? Overachiever?
Just got lucky. But yeah, man, that's
So that's the lesson there. Just watch the weird business and
watch the weirdness. Because I mean, if this was the top, it would have been a really nice trade. You could have caught it for a nice run, but move to break even quickly sometimes.
Okay, yeah. The last thing, I guess, like the last nail that would just drive into my head, like, why? Okay, I see the range. I see the all the bull movement. Yeah, tight range, all that stuff. I guess but like after profit target, and could be like second profit target. What would make me think again that like this could keep on going higher?
Once it breaks here, this should have been the key right here. So I guess a few things. Um, so we think we're going to take a position, and we're going to move to break even quickly. We got out break even. We were proved wrong. We can't be bearish anymore after this. We have to be bullish until we get proven wrong again. Now, as for if it will continue higher, we can find the time of the day, and we can determine if it's likely to continue higher or not. So, as an example, have you heard of the 18 bar rule?
No.
So the 18 bar rule, according to the 5-minute chart, if there has been a breakout of the first 18 bars of the day, then there is a more than 60% likelihood that the market will continue in that direction. So, with that being said, though, it doesn't mean there's not some things that you have to be careful of, because they have to be good, strong breakouts of that 18 bars. And if that 18 bars is a trend from the open, then it's still a trend from the open, and it's not likely to sustain itself.
Understood.
So there are some exceptions to that, but as a general rule, if something on the 5-minute chart breaks out of its 18 bar range, then there is a relative likelihood that the market will continue that direction, whether it's up or down.
Got it. On the 5-minute chart.
On the 5-minute. And there's nothing special about the number 18. Like, if you can go down the list and you can be like bar 25. Well, there's an even greater probability that if it breaks out of bar 25, it's going to continue that direction for the rest of the day, because we have less of a day left. And, you can go down the line more and more, and the probabilities just get higher and higher and higher.
The less of the day there is, and that it continues going up, it raises the probability?
The closer we are to the end of the day, and it breaks out of that range, whatever that range is, the higher the probability that it will continue for the rest of the day.
Got it.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that one?
It's an old Al Brooks
Nice.
Technique he uses, 18 bar breakouts. He calls them breakout mode.
Noted.
Sounds really fancy. I should think of fancy names for my things. Breakout mode, it just sounds like I'm in a fast car and I'm just like speeding down the raceway.
Yeah, like I don't know if you ever played, I guess, like Need for Speed or like GTA.
Yeah. Those are fun.
Breakout mode.
Breakout mode. I always felt excited when Al Brooks used breakout mode when he said
Yeah, you gotta make it fun, so you're just making it fun.
it. Absolutely.
So yeah, that was that. Yeah, my margin was too big on the last one though. I should have just kept it right above my second entry short, but then it started coming back. But once it was like around the 20 EMA, I like just raised it a little bit, thinking it would go back down. But
Yeah, you just got to get really, really good, like of seeing it coming, and being like just something random out of context here. Be like, okay, first entry long. I'm waiting for a second entry long. I see this bear doji. I say, okay, the momentum is slowing here. Can I use this as my signal bar? Okay, yes, I can use this as my signal bar. I'm going to do Control F3 real quick. I'm going to measure my risk, and I'm going to say, okay, yes or no according to this risk, and put my trade in. You got to do it really, really fast. I've gotten really, really quick at doing Control F3 and find out what my exact risk is real quick.
great. I will do that from now on for every trade. And then it was just my 3 trades from today. I was just patient and just took 3 4-pointers clean. Very happy. Just made back for those learning lessons on Friday, essentially.
Good. Let's see here.
This is the +1 one. It's the +1, not those 3. Well, it's fine, but I just wanted to zoom out because I wanted to ask you about the gap, but we already spoke about it.
So it should just be this one?
The last one. The last one.
Nice little channel fade there. So what, you took a position here and you took profits here?
Correct.
Why didn't you wait until up here?
good question. I just was thinking the move down was just strong. I wasn't thinking long.
Well,
I wasn't thinking long.
if you weren't thinking long, then don't be taking any longs. If we have to keep our profit targets. Like even here, I get that you know obviously we didn't hit the profit target, but we trail, so
Yeah, we
gotta
could have
do
made more.
this. You know, profit target. Wow, profit target. Trail here. Trail here. Funny. Actually, I guess you would have made just a little bit more by taking 4 points. But we do want to make sure that we trail because this could have gone all the way up.
Correct.
And this is, we're in a big bear channel here as well. So it'd kind
Which
of
is
be
why-
reasonable to think too that maybe we wouldn't quite hit the top because if we did, it would be outside of the channel here.
Yeah, which is why I sent you all those other charts. If you want to look at the major
Yeah.
channel, look at the one that's listed too. The one second to the right. Yeah, the 5 minutes cool too. You could look at the 5 minutes. Go one more. Go one more. To show you that. Yeah. Oh wait, never mind. Go back. Oh yeah, but yeah, this kind of shows you like I had the I guess I wanted to ask you if it was drawn correctly, even with the gap and everything.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Let's see. I don't think we should think of these lines here as a channel. These top ones.
Okay.
I think we should just be here. You know, we can draw another one here. We can draw another one here. That is actually kind of an interesting long, isn't it? This, one of these might be a measured move in here, measured move pullback. And an interesting long entry. Yeah. And we'll make a video about that one probably today, actually.
Oh, I did not even see that. Measure move pullback for a perfect long. I did not even see that.
Yeah. It's tough to see. We got to always zoom out every now and then. Sometimes we get, and I do it too, by all means. You know, I get like tunnel vision on my charts sometimes, and we got to zoom out to really see what's going on. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the measured move or if that's measured move there, measured move there, and then a long. But one of these is a measured move. Has to be.
So I was thinking with the gap, and I guess with that, like kind of like a slanted top. Like I just saw, like I just felt like it was just there, that slant. But you don't think that channel is valid?
This big one here, I would have preferred if you drew it. Well, I'd have to get rid of the other one. I would prefer if you just drew it here, then another line here instead of here. This, I mean. Basically what you're saying by drawing this huge channel right here is you're basically saying like the market is in a broad bear channel. Is the market in a broad bear channel right now? Probably not.
Okay.
It may be coming down. It may even be in a channel, but I don't think it's in a channel that's like 100 points tall. It's not in a 100-point bear channel here. It's in a giant bull channel.
Got it.
So
Understood.
I would draw it skinnier. I would draw it here and here.
Got it. At what point how many points does a channel become broad?
So there's not a set number, and it's going to depend on your chart. But the best way to look at it, really, let's see if there's something up here. Yeah, so in 2 seconds. 1, 2. So a channel just develops, right? So let's take on a few examples here. This was this thing's original channel here, tiny, pretty insignificant. And then it broadens. We have a pullback outside of that channel, a false breakout, and it broadens. And it becomes a little bit wider. And then we can say, okay, well, maybe it happens again and again. And I'm drawing kind of a massive channel here.
So it's more of the action, like the channel is broadening.
Yes, that's more like it. The channel is broadening. And even from here, I'm not quite sure if I would actually draw this channel like this, but just because it's right in front of me and it's an example. You know, even if this broad channel, it can still break and push up again. But it's just it's that it's broadening. It's not like as soon as it hits 30 points, it's going to fail.
Got it. And it has to be broadening, I guess, in a valid way. Like this short broadened channel that I drew wasn't valid.
Oops. Yeah, this, I don't think it's valid. I don't think it is. You can almost, if you really look at it, dude, you can almost draw a channel like straight through here. I mean, I guess you did it at the top here, but you can kind of do it on the bottom too. If anything, that's more valid of a channel. I get that it's not the same channel because the market had a big dip and then it recovered, but you know, it's respecting those lines, so you can look at that and say that, okay, even though this did have a big dip like this overnight, these match up shockingly perfectly. The coincidences don't happen in the market. So there we go.
Okay, so kind of like ignore that little open range area.
This gap right here, is that what you're talking about?
No, the opening range price action. Like if I drew my tighter channel, like we just spoke about, then
Yeah.
I'm kind of like blocking it out.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it too. Like this too is essentially a channel downward. And then that's a range, and there's a channel upward, and it came back into the original channel.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah. Just take these little puzzle pieces and kind of put them together.
I like that. It's an invisible channel drop.
Yeah. It happens, especially on holidays.
Noted. So yeah, those are my three. I think so. Okay. So the long channel fade. Go for the top. But be wary because if I had a correctly drawn bear channel, be wary.
Your top was correct.
Yes, the top was correct. So be wary, and I was. So I just took 4 points, but still try to get the top profit, the high. And then the short, I guess, yeah, I was just respecting the top channel line. I was just thinking it was going to go down. I took 4 points. If I held, it could have doubled, maybe quadrupled if I held all the way down.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
I was just scalping, and then I saw some strong bull momentum. I wanted to ask you about my first entries over here at the ends. You see, I have 1, 2, 3 first entries. I had a first entry at the top of the channel line, and then it broke the channel line, so I was going for a fade. I had to restart first entry, and then it broke that channel line, a bigger one. So then I restarted and then went for the short at the top.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's correct. Actually, no, you did it exactly right. Counting legs is still subjective. Like you could even say that the count doesn't restart here, and some people might say that, but in my mind, this is a clear channel. It broke that channel. I'm going to restart because I've seen the market fade a channel inside of a channel many times, especially with resistance here. And the market broke it, so the count definitely restarts now no matter what. So 1, 2, and a good little short entry.
Yeah, so price could at that it's like a pocket, like that little area where like the channel within the channel.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's kind of just, it's kind of no man's land, and it's kind of not at the same time.
A channel fade at the channel line.
Yeah, because we could fade this channel here at this channel's resistance point if we got our trigger. And it'd still be a channel fade, but it would also be like an entry at a channel line because we're fading this one and just entering on that one.
Okay, amazing. So that's it.
Amazing, dude. Keep up the great work. Remember to set your profit targets where they can be.
Where they should be.
Yep. Profit targets like that are what give you 19-point range fades.
Yes. So do you see the measured move pull back here to catch that bull before the momentum? Do you see that?
Here. And it's either... Hold on. Why don't I just go to my chart?
Where are you guys going? I think I'm kind of busy. You guys enjoy. Drive safe.
So, I think this is it right here. It's either that's either a measured move, or this is going to be a measured move. And it looks like that's the measured move. So this is a measured move of this. And then that's our entry long. Or an entry long, I should say.
There's multiple entry longs there.
Yeah. So, yeah, my thought was either this was a measured move or this was a measured move, and it looks like this is. See, it's just about perfect.
Okay. But yeah, I would still personally, that's tough long to take, man.
It is. It is. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely a tough long to take. And if it's tough for you, then that's okay. Skip it. There's nothing wrong with that. I skip, there's entries for me that are kind of tough for me to take, and I gotta skip them. Because the second that I don't, all of a sudden I'm in a trade, and I'm not emotionally able to handle, what might happen in that trade. If I can't accept the risk beforehand, then who knows what I may do during that trade to mess myself up.
What would you say this is difficult for you?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little difficult. Let's go to yours real quick, because yours has the drawings. I would say it's pretty difficult, yeah. Let's see. Especially when you think about it. Like like I said, I wasn't trading today because it's Columbus Day, but I probably would have had my channel lines drawn exactly like that. And no, I would not look to take a long entry there, despite it being a measured move. I may have recognized that it was a measured move, but probably would not have taken it long.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You just take whatever you're comfortable with, It's kind of tough to take that. There's not necessarily the most amount of bullish bias in the world.
I want to thank you, Nick, again for an amazing lesson. Been learning a lot. I just definitely had to clear up when I'm learning and when I'm trading. And then, like those trades on Friday, I could have just thrown them in Sim, you know,
Yeah.
because I could have just been like, I'm learning right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that, I guess. It is it's just important to take what you're confident in, and you got to build that confidence up sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
But
I could just tell you weren't confident either.
but just keep it up, man, and we have a whole new week ahead of us. Um,
Yes.
are you're I know you're at least close to passing your account. So,
I'm like, yeah, I think it'll be a surprise. I think it'll probably sneak up on me before I even know it.
fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
But I'm not concerned at all.
I think the biggest thing is just keep your profit targets in mind and try to look back at the context and put the pieces together. And each piece that you find, ask yourself, like,